Hello everybody and welcome back to my Minecraft world, and you know what that means. We got another discussion video. And today I want to talk about creativity. How to keep the creative juices flowing, how to, constantly come up with ideas, and if you're a producer like me, how to beat beat block or writer's block, if you're an artist, or just how to be creative in general. Um but yeah, for those of you who don't know, this series is pretty much just me rambling about a specific topic. So these videos are unedited. If I ramble too much, I'm sorry. I just like to yap. But again, today we're going to be talking about creativity. Now, before I get into that, I want to talk about the grind mindset because it ties in with creativity. I just gotta burn this forest down because I'm trying to make space to build like more shit here. But the grind mindset, when you're trying to do something, or when people are trying to do something, or have a goal, people think like, oh, I gotta grind, I gotta work hard, I gotta do this, do that, and that is true. While that is true, it's like you don't want to force yourself. It's important to quote unquote grind, but it's also important to take breaks as well. Because when you're grinding, right? When you're grinding, it can lead to burnout, and burnout is a real thing, guys. So I'm just gonna use me as an example. When I first started making beats, I really wanted to blow up, and I had this. Well, I still do, obviously, really want to blow up and be successful, but I had this mindset where, oh, I gotta make a beat every single day. I gotta do this. I gotta, overwork myself, and then I'll make it. While that may be true for some people, a lot of people can't do that. A lot of people experience burnout, and that's normal. It's normal to experience burnout, which then leads to beat block or writer's block if you're an artist, or any sort of like slump, just in life. Nowadays, I don't make a beat every single day. I actually don't really, honestly, like I do make beats, but nowhere near as much as I was making before, but I feel like I've got a lot better because of it. So, how does this relate to creativity? Well, if you're trying to grind, and force yourself to do things, you end up burning yourself out, which then kills your motivation, which then kills your joy for it, which then kills your creativity. So again, I'm gonna use me as an example. Today, I was trying to make a Ken Carson type beat, because I wanted to do another Ken Carson tutorial. So I was trying to make another Ken Carson beat, and I couldn't because for the past for the past week, because Ken Carson just dropped. I was trying to spam like Ken Carson Ken Carson videos. So yeah, I was trying to make a Ken Carson beat and I couldn't. Like, I mean, obviously I could, but to me it just wasn't sounding right. Nothing was sounding right. So, old me would get upset. Old me would be like, oh, you gotta make this beat, or else, we're not gonna make it, or else we're not gonna blow up. You gotta work hard. But I just left it. I just left it because, it wasn't coming to me. So sometimes it's okay to, walk away and give yourself a break. Now, I want to talk about this book that I'm reading. It's called The Creative Act by Rick Rubin, and I'm gonna relate it. I'm gonna tie it all together. Just wait. So, The Creative Act by Rick Rubin, which if you guys want to start reading, you should read that book. It's actually a really good book. I would highly recommend it. But it talks about creativity. And it's also Rick Rubin is a musician. I don't remember what his position was, but he has something to do with Def Jam Records, and he's also worked with big people such as Kanye West. I think he's a producer too. But anyways, in the book, he said something like, along the lines of, don't let if you can't think of any ideas, don't force yourself, don't force the idea, and let the idea come to you. Let the creativity come to you. And that is a very true statement. And I'm going to use today as an example. So like I said, I was trying to make a Ken Carson type beat, and I couldn't. I was struggling so hard. So I walked away, and I don't know, I just started listening to music. And then I started listening to Lil Yachty, and now I don't usually listen to Lil Yachty. I like Lil Yachty, but like I don't usually listen to him like that, you know. So I just started listening to him, and then I started listening to his Concrete Boys tape, and I got inspired. I got inspired. There was a song on there called "L.A. Reid." I really liked that song, and I really liked the beat. So I was like, "Oh shit, this is hard. I want to make something like that." So instead of making a Ken Carson type beat, I made a Lil Yachty type beat, and you know, I wasn't planning to. And see, in the book, he also said, like I said, let the ideas come to you. I didn't plan on making a Lil Yachty beat. I don't think I've actually ever made a Lil Yachty beat, but today I did. It's weird because, like, you know, the idea just came to me. So that is a very true statement, you know. Don't force it. Just let it come to you. Because, well, again, when you force it, you know, you're gonna burn yourself out. So just let the ideas come to you. It's okay to take breaks, guys. It's important to enjoy the process, and I've learned that the hard way, guys. So, in my last video, I told you guys last year, you know, I almost quit music. I almost quit music, like for real. I did. I never thought I would ever think of that in my life, quitting music. But last year, I really was not enjoying it at all, guys. It just was depressing. I don't know. But last year, you know, okay, so 2023 happened, and then 2020, I wasn't, you know, I wasn't proud of myself. I was like disappointed. I'm like, okay, nothing, you didn't make anything happen in 2023, so 2024, you gotta work hard now, make this your year. So I wanted to do that, and you know, January, February 2024, I was grinding. I was actually like making a lot of beats. I was networking. I was sending out beats, trying to get placements, etc. Right? And then I kind of started YouTube, but I didn't really think of it as a thing I wanted to focus on at the time. So, anyways, 2024, I was trying to outwork, you know, I was trying so hard to get placements, do this, do that, and I wanted to focus on YouTube. I had 2 channels. I still do a type B channel, this channel. I was trying to do that while I was trying to, you know, get placements. I was spamming emails every single day, and of course, to do that, I have to make beats. So I was trying to force myself to make a beat every single day, trying to network with people every single day. Just there's a lot to do, guys. There's a lot of shit, and honestly, like, it's better to focus on one thing than multiple. And I learned that the hard way. So yeah, anyways, it just became depressing, and I didn't really like enjoy making music anymore. So, like, I wasn't enjoying it. You know, I was really thinking like, okay, I'm not having fun doing this, so what's the point? I wasn't enjoying the process. But this year, you know, I was like, okay, let me try something different. Let me actually focus on YouTube. And let me tell you guys right now, this is the most fun I've had making music since I first started learning how to make beats. You know that feeling when you first open like FL Studio or whatever DAW you're using, and you start making beats, or not just beats, like, you know, music. It's fun. It's like, oh shit, you know, I made this, and this, you know, at the time you think it's cool, but like looking back, your shit sounds ass. But at the time, you know, it's cool because like, it's like you're creating something. It's like, you know, I created this. That's crazy, right? But it's fun. And that's the thing, like when we're first starting off, it's so fun. It's so fun because we don't know what we're doing. There's no expectations we put on ourselves. It's like, okay, I'm just having fun making music. And then you eventually want, because it's fun, you want to turn it into, you know, a career. But this year, I'm really having fun because I'm enjoying the process. And I have so many ideas, guys, like, not just for beats, like for videos as well. I have a lot of ideas flowing through my mind. I'm just enjoying myself, and I feel like the most creative I've ever been at this time because I'm enjoying the process. It's important to have fun, guys, and to be happy. Like, creativity is heavily linked to happiness. Because, you know, like, for example, I have a job, you know, I do this, but I also obviously have a job, right? And at my job, so I work at this shoe store called DSW, And at my job, I couldn't care less on it's a job. Like, I don't hate it, but I don't want to work. I'd rather be at home. So I have no creativity at that job. If a customer asks me, oh, a question, and I'm not trying to sell them that shit, guys. Like, I don't care. Like this, it's just a job is like so straightforward. It's like, these are your tasks, do it, and I'm like, okay, there's no creativity involved because it's not something enjoyable. So why would you know, try to be creative with something that you don't really care about? You have to care about something and enjoy it for the creativity to flow. So, like, I know I'm rambling right now like crazy, but I hope like some of it is making sense and really helping. What's the word I'm looking for? Resonating. I hope some of my ramblings resonating with you guys. But another thing he talked about in the book um was the brains of children. Now, because children, it's actually fascinating how their minds work. When you're a child, it's like when you're a child, you're the most creative you've ever been. And then as you progress to become older, you start to lose your creativity because you start to become an adult. And it's like when you start to become an adult, you look at the world differently. It's like when you're a kid, kids are curious. It's like, oh, why I don't know, why is the sun up there? Why is water blue? It's just weird things like that. Like, those may sound dumb to us adults, but it's interesting. Like, why do they think like that? Because kids are curious, and it's important to be curious. I believe it's important to obviously grow up and become mature, but I don't believe becoming mature involves losing your childlike nature. Because I don't like when people say, oh, like, you should grow up and you're not a kid anymore, blah, 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 blah. Like, for example, I'm playing Minecraft. This is a children's game. And so what? Like, I enjoy this game. Why am I not allowed to play this game? Because I'm an adult? And I feel like that's why I'm a creative person. Because, I don't think I've lost my childlike nature. So it's important, to stay curious, I guess. Stay curious about things, like, and I can relate that to making music. Like, whenever I watch a video and they do something crazy, I'm like, oh, how did they do that? Let me rewind and look at that. It's important to stay curious. There was this commercial or ad or something, I don't know, and I found it really fascinating. I saw it a long time ago when I was a kid, like in elementary school. Actually, no, it wasn't a commercial. They showed it in in assembly. In assemblies, like when they make you watch, like, I don't know, these presentations, and you all sit in the gym and whatever. I don't know. Anyways, the slideshow or the video they showed, it was an interview with adults and kids. The question was, if you could change anything about yourself, what would you change? All the adults, obviously were like, oh, I'd change my height. I would make myself taller. I'd make myself, lose a bit of weight. I'd fix my nose, I don't like my ears, my face, etc. Right? All appearance-wise, because of self-conscious. Where they ask this exact same question to children, like what would you change if you could change one thing or do one thing to yourself? What would it be? And the kids were like, oh, I would give myself wings. I'd give myself the ability to fly. I'd be able to teleport. I'd give myself the ability to speak to animals. Like, isn't that crazy? And you notice, like I said before, happiness is important to allow the creative juices flowing when we're children. When was the happiest time in your life? When you were a child. Because when you're a child, you're just curious about the world and want to learn, which allows creativity to flow. So that's another thing too. Don't grow up too fast, guys. I think like even still when I'm in my like 30s, 40s, I'll still be playing Minecraft. I like Pokemon for example too. I'll still be playing. I still love Pokemon and all these things. But let me talk about like music specifically. How do you? Well, I can't speak on artists because I'm not an artist, but I can speak for producers. How do you beat block? Some things I do is, well, one, I take a break and let ideas come to me. It's always good to take a break and give your mind a break, and let the ideas come to you. Like I said, like multiple times. But number two, um, while you're taking a break, try new things. Like for example, I don't know, go on a bike ride. Nature can give you ideas. It may not be like a literal idea. Like for example, you may not hear a song or sound in the forest and be like, oh, I want to make something like that. It could be just anything. Like for example, look, let me show you guys. I don't know, like water. Okay, look, looking at this right now, I could come up with a beat in my head. This is what I think. I'm thinking of something like orchestral with strings. When I see this forest, I think of like some nice, like majestic sounding strings. Maybe like a slower tempo. No, like maybe like 140 BPM with some pizzicato strings just playing, and then maybe some like ambient like sparkly textures. I don't know, and then the drums. What are the drums gonna sound like? I don't want to put trap drums on this. You see what I'm doing? Like this is, guys. I don't know if I'm crazy or not, but like I'm looking at a Minecraft forest and I'm thinking of a beat in my head. But you see, that's how children think. Like it honestly is. The children will look at this cow and be like, "Oh shit, there's a baby there." But yeah, children will look at this cow and be like, "Oh, how did this cow? Where did you come from? How are cows born? And that's a dumbass question. But kids are curious and creative. Like, look, what do you guys? Okay, let me get a different view. Okay, look, see that orange shit like right there? Oh no, no, even like this. See, look, if I look at this mountain right here, this is the beat I'm thinking in my head. I'm thinking of something more darker sounding, cause this looks like a laboratory. This looks like it actually is a laboratory. I'm pretty sure. Am I? I think it is. Is this the right place? Hold on. Let me double check. I actually don't remember. My world is so big that yeah, it is. It actually is a laboratory, guys. I made this shit a laboratory. How do I? Hold on. Oh yeah, see, look, that shit sounds spooky. So see, look, yeah, see, like that shit. Someone is getting experimented on in there, guys. So when I see this lab, I'm thinking of some. I'm not thinking of that majestic shit what I was thinking over there. I'm thinking of a beat like something darker, maybe. Not like completely dark, like not some Playboy Cardi shit, but like um eerie, I guess. Like it's giving me Stranger Things type of vibes. Like an eerie type of beat, something maybe like faster paced. You see what I'm doing? Like, guys, I'm coming up with ideas while playing Minecraft. I'm literally not doing anything. If you think of Minecraft literally, it has nothing to do with music. It's building blocks. But you can take creativity from anywhere, guys. Look, I'm making a beat in my head from this fucking laboratory. I made a beat in my head from this forest. I'll make another one. Let's go to this like desert biome right here. I'm thinking of something Arabian. Like I hear some flutes going. Something that Gunna would probably shit on. Some guitars. You know. So take things like I said, when you go on a bike ride, take things from nature. Look at nature and be like, oh, what do I hear? What do I hear in my head? Sometimes when you listen to music, you can picture it like in your head. Like I don't know, for example, like Playboy Cardi, listening to something like Pop Out, what do you envision in your head? A mosh pit. Versus if you listen to like I don't know, like Drake. What do you listen to? What do you picture in your head? Me, I picture like late night, midnight drives on the highway. So just reverse it. You know, you can think of a picture in your head or visual in your head when you listen to music, but you can also um create a sound or music while looking at something, you know? So that's that. And then, sorry, the literal way I kind of deal with beat block is I try using loops, you know, because with loops, it's like, it's okay to use loops, guys. Like, I know people frown upon loops, but I'm gonna do a video on that. But using loops, don't be worried about using loops, guys. Like, everybody uses loops. But anyways, try to use loops, you know, or try to look for samples. But just don't even like, just literally type like, I don't know, like samples or something on YouTube, and it'll be crazy the things that you find. Because when you use samples or loops, it's like you're not expecting anything. It's like, again, you're letting the ideas come to you. You're letting, like, you can find some crazy samples and be like, yeah, that is speaking to me, you know? Let the ideas come to you. Let the world, let the universe just speak to you, you know, give you these ideas. But yeah, I feel like I'm kind of rambling for too long now, and I completed my goal. I burned down the forest, so I'm gonna start making shit here now, like some houses and shit. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about creativity. Actually, comment down like, what do you guys do when you have beat block or are in a slump of some sort, you know? Or how do you guys find creativity? Could come up with new ideas. What keeps you motivated and creative, I guess? But yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you listen to the whole thing, you're a goat for real, because I can yap for hours. I could keep going, but like, I'm gonna end it here. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and if you guys want to learn how to make beats, I got a lot of tutorials on my channel. So make sure to tap in. But thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.